Hi guys, this is Charlie with Boxing Focus, and a few thoughts on David Haye against Tyson Fury. Now, I'm not going to make any secret of the fact that I'm not David Haye's biggest fan. I used to be a fairly avid supporter of him. I mean, as much as I am with any sporting individual. And I was very happy to see him conquer Mohamed, for example. I was fairly supportive of him leading up to the Valuer fight, and the fights before that with Ruiz and Fragonini and the various others. But just recently, I don't know, he likes to say in the build-up to fights that he's the superior human being. I am the superior human being. He's just got that aloof. It is arrogant. I'm not too bothered about arrogance. If you're at the top of a sport, you obviously are a pretty impressive individual. I don't really care about people being arrogant about their success. It's just the way he looks down his nose at everybody that it really rubs me up the wrong way. But I mean, and the thing is, it's not just in his, obviously fighters put on personas for fights and stuff, but it's every video I see of him. It's just the way he talks. He's got his nose up in the air. Yes, I am the amazing Mr. David Haye. And it's like, just stop talking like such a smarmy bastard and just try and connect with people as a normal individual. It's just something about the way he talks is really irritating. Tyson Fury, on the other hand, is really endearing. The guy's hilarious when he talks, whether it's in the build-up or whether it's him just being himself. Love the way he says that he wants to be remembered as the greatest of all times. I've got a lot of time for Tyson Fury. I find the guy really entertaining. I've enjoyed, watched almost all of his fights live since perhaps his 5th pro fight. I've enjoyed watching all the smack that a lot of, I hate to use the term, but Tyson Fury haters give to him, and the fact that he keeps on winning and how pissed off everybody is about that. So just everything about Tyson Fury I find very entertaining, and I have really rated him quite highly for quite some time now. It doesn't mean he isn't flawed, it doesn't mean that he doesn't have vulnerabilities, but I mean, the guy is a 6'9", he's an absolute monster, and he's capable of mixing it up, and he shows a lot of I don't want to say old school, but kind of like he shows a lot of fighting ability that we don't see from, for example, Vladimir Klitschko or many of the heavyweights these days. He'll come in the ring using different styles, and he's prepared to mix it up. He's got very underrated hand speed. The guy can punch surprisingly quickly, and he can put his combinations together surprisingly well, especially given that his size. And honestly, having thought about it for some time and being somewhat apprehensive about backing Tyson Fury in this one, the more I think about it, the more I think he is capable of beating David Haye. Now, I thought Derek Chisora could beat David Haye, and well, we saw how that worked out. But I actually thought that fight was a lot closer than some people realise, and I've had this belief reinforced recently by reading other things from other people online that basically David Haye was getting pretty dog-tired in that fight, and Chisora, for whatever reason, be it the pressure from Haye, be it the occasion, a combination of many things, David Haye's movement and agility, the fact that Chisora had pretty much lost every round leading into the 5th. Chisora threw his plan out the window and started reaching really badly, and did it a couple of times. The 3rd or 4th time he did it, Haye just jumped to the side and clocked him. So yeah, if Tyson Fury opens himself up like that, David Haye will knock him out straight away, more or less. Let's just keep it real. But I don't think Tyson Fury is gonna walk into this fight with the same kind of lunacy that he did the Steve Cunningham fight. He got caught a little bit square with his hand down, with his left hand down. That was fairly self-inflicted. It was very silly, the knockdown in the Steve Cunningham fight. But even after that, he did get clocked a couple more times before he really got on top of Cunningham. But once he started just marauding forward with his guard, with it nice and tight, Cunningham didn't know what to do with him. I mean, Tyson Fury was getting close. He's got these ridiculously long arms, so it's hard to time up. He was just coming underneath the rib cages with short hooks. It's an absolute nightmare. I can't imagine trying to fend off somebody Tyson Fury's size. The guy's going to outweigh David Haye by 50 pounds on fight night. He's just, if he does what he did from kind of like the third, fourth round onwards against Cunningham and just maraud forward, David Haye won't be able to knock Tyson Fury out with punches through his guard. Probably. I don't think so. I think David Haye will tire very quickly. But at the same time, David Haye is an elusive guy. He's got good footwork. He may not have a broken toe this time, so he may be able to move away from Fury. But I think Fury is big enough and strong enough to put on the kind of pressure that will tire David Haye out quite quickly. I don't think David Haye's got great stamina. I think he's consistently shown that he's got poor stamina throughout his career. Obviously, there's the loss to Carl Thompson, although arguably wasn't in his finest condition. Cruiserweight tended, he was a little bit leaner. I think that helped him. So you look at his fight with Mornek, for instance. Wasn't a high, fought at the most frantic pace, but he was still strong, getting to the 7th, 8th rounds. But you look at, against Ruiz, he was looking languid by the time he stopped John Ruiz. Arguably did so with punches behind the head. It was a bit scrappy. Against Chisora, it looked like he was gassing a bit. Against Valuev, he threw about 50 punches in the fight. Against Klitschko, he was all over the floor. It was David Haye is not going to be able to fight at the kind of pace that Tyson Fury likes to fight for more than 5-6 rounds. I'd be very surprised if this gets into the second half of the fight. That's not true. I think it may get into the second half of the fight, but I would be absolutely astonished if this fight goes the distance. I cannot see that happening. Haye's going to have to scarp her like a cat, basically, in order to get this fight to go the distance. Or not, well, obviously if he knocks Tyson Fury out, it's not going the distance, so that's it's fairly one of the simpler ones. Is just a case of is Haye fast enough and accurate enough? Well, yes, but does he hit hard enough to punch through Tyson Fury's guard, or is Tyson Fury going to fight like an idiot? Which is possible. Let's keep it real. It'll be a good fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. I think it's going to be a really, really good, entertaining fight, however long it lasts. Tyson Fury fights are entertaining, and so David Haye fights. Let's go fight aside. Anyway, let me know what you think. If you're looking forward to it, should be a good one. This is Charlie with